60, there's a good chance you remember the day the Beatles first set foot on American soil.
It was February 7th of 1964. Beatlemania had arrived in the United States, and music in America would never be the same.
No, it would not. And the 50th anniversary of the Fab Four's breakthrough on the far side of the Atlantic is the focus of this edition of Lance's Journal. Lance?
All right, thanks, guys. Daryl Hengler remembers it like it was yesterday. It was Sunday, February 9th, 1964. And Daryl, along with 73 million other primetime viewers, tuned in to the Ed Sullivan Show on CBS to get their first glimpse of Beatlemania in America. Daryl had Beatles fever, and trust me, he had it bad.
Here's saying hello to all my mates. Welcome to my Liverpool lounge. First off here, we have some yellow submarine items.
We all live in a yellow submarine.
Here's the rest of the Liverpool lounge. I call it my man cave dedicated to the boys.
Daryl estimates that he's acquired nearly 1,000 Beatles items since he fell in love with the Fab Four a half-century ago.
I had to have something to do with the Beatles on my license plate, so I came up with mop tops.
Daryl was just 12 years old, living in Havelock, when he saw John, Paul, George, and Ringo on TV for the first time.
I originally saw the Beatles on Channel 1011 right here in Lincoln.
Daryl was hooked.
And I remember the next day at school, I think I was in the 6th grade, it was all everybody was talking about. Did you see the Beatles? Did you see the Beatles?
Daryl is now 61 years old.
I'm old enough that I was even in the fan club when they were still together. People ask me all the time, Daryl, with all this stuff you have in this great Beatle room, what's your favorite thing?
It's not the Beatles' bus phone.
What could you not live without?
It's not the Beatles' lunchbox.
I would get rid of everything in this room before I would ever part with my original Beatle 45 records.
And while he loves all the Beatles songs, one stands out among the rest.
My favorite is Penny Lane, and it goes a little bit something like this.
Penny Lane, there is a barber showing photographs.
Fortunately, Daryl's wife Leslie is also a Beatles fan.
So when I was at Pius X, I had a boyfriend at the time, and we danced the lunch hour to I Want to Hold Your Hand.
Let me hold your hand.
Little Nolan is a third-generation Beatles fan, and as you can see, Grandpa couldn't be more proud.
We should remember what they really tried to tell us. All you need is love. Thanks for being with me.
All you need is love. Love. Love is all you need.
Well, in addition to love, Daryl also needs an annual gathering of fellow Fab Four fanatics. Every year for the past 2 decades, Daryl and his buddies gather together and partake in British food and drinks to celebrate the anniversary of the British invasion. And 2 weeks from today, it will have been an even half-century since the Fab Four landed in New York. And who says you have to be over the age of 50 to love the Beatles? Sitting right here beside me is a young lady who was born in the 80s, and she still loves John, Paul, George, and Ringo.
I do. I have my dad and my brother to thank for that, and I've seen a cover band with them, and my brother's 22, and it just proves that all generations love the Beatles.
That music will stand the test of time, and people just keep passing it down through the generations.
It'll never get old.
Nope.
It'll never get old.
Thank you very much, Lance.
You bet.
We'll update your forecast next.